Yeah, he had a great run, and it's fun to watch. I think I watched Indiana State and Iowa. Caitlin Clark played about the same last year, so I've watched a lot of basketball.
He had an unforgettable run. Truly the kind of stretch that kept fans glued from the opening tip to the final buzzer. And if you were following Iowa or Indiana State last season, you know exactly how magnetic Caitlin Clark's ascent has been. She didn't just play games, she turned every matchup into must-see television. But no one saw this week's twist coming. The Indiana Fever made a headline-grabbing move that shook the WNBA landscape. Out of nowhere, Stephanie White, the seasoned coach who once led the team with a steady hand, was let go.
And who's stepping in?
A name so legendary, it almost sounded like a rumor at first: Larry Bird. The Hall of Famer. A basketball icon whose presence alone redefines the stakes. As the news broke, even Caitlin Clark, arguably the league's brightest rising star, was stunned. This wasn't your typical coaching change.
It was the kind of bombshell that shakes a franchise to its foundation. No insider leaks. No whispers ahead of time. Just pure shock. At Gainbridge Fieldhouse, fans stood still. A moment of disbelief was quickly followed by a wave of cheers as the magnitude of the change hit home. This wasn't simply a front office shuffle. It felt like a defining moment in women's basketball. The kind of pivot that suggests a new chapter is beginning for the WNBA. Since joining the league, Clark hasn't just been another rookie. She's been a force of nature.
Her arrival breathed new life into a struggling Fever franchise, turning them overnight into the team everyone wanted to see.
Ticket demand skyrocketed, over 400% in some cases.
Arenas that once echoed with empty seats became electric battlegrounds packed with fans. But Clark's influence didn't stop there. Top-tier sponsors and global brands raced to align with her. Her plays, whether dazzling assists or clutch three-pointers, went viral within minutes. She quickly became the focal point of every sports debate, every highlight reel. In just her first season, she wasn't only leading on the court, she was changing the entire image of the Fever and becoming the face of a new era in women's sports. Yet, beneath the surface, friction was building. While Clark's fearless style thrilled fans, it reportedly clashed with Coach White's more cautious playbook. There were games where her creativity was clearly stifled. Some even saw her benched for taking the kinds of risks that had made her a household name. Clark hinted at this tension in interviews, stressing how the game is built on flow, instinct, and rhythm, not overly restrained systems. The resulting disconnect sparked debate. Was Indiana holding back one of the most gifted players the league has ever seen? Eventually, something had to give. After a stretch of underwhelming team performances despite Clark's efforts, the Fever front office made a bold move.
Stephanie White was out.
But the real shock wasn't just the firing, it was the replacement. Rather than go with a typical assistant or a safe interim, the team reached into the deepest part of its basketball soul and brought in Larry Bird. This wasn't just a coaching hire. It was a seismic shift. Bird is Indiana basketball incarnate. A fierce competitor who defined an era with his grit, intelligence, and unrelenting drive. Fans didn't just see a new leader, they saw the possibility of greatness again. This wasn't about a short-term fix. It was a statement. The Fever are all in. They are rewriting their identity with a figure who symbolizes excellence. Bird's NBA legacy, 3 titles, 3 MVPs, and a legendary coaching and front office resume, now converges with a WNBA league experiencing explosive growth. And for Caitlin Clark, the message couldn't be clearer. The Fever are backing her. They are committed to building something historic. And with Bird at the helm, the stakes and the expectations just skyrocketed. This moment isn't just about Caitlin Clark leading the Indiana Fever anymore, it's about teaming up with a basketball legend. Larry Bird's involvement brings a wealth of experience, a strategic mind, and a legacy that could elevate Clark and the entire franchise beyond what anyone thought possible. With Bird in the mix, this is no ordinary coaching shakeup.
It feels more like the birth of a new era in women's basketball.
His decades of insight and championship pedigree now meet Clark's youthful energy, elite skill set, and undeniable star power. Already making the WNBA a must-watch spectacle. Together, their partnership could be the blueprint for something far greater than wins. Practices become elite workshops, games turn into chess matches of brilliance, and suddenly, Indiana transforms from an underdog to the center of the basketball universe. The impact extends well beyond the court. The mere association of Bird's name with the Fever lit a fire. Corporate sponsors doubled down, TV networks cleared prime slots, and ticket prices soared. Everyone wants in on this new chapter. Social media has exploded, with every clip, every training highlight, every rumor making waves far beyond sports circles. It's a cultural moment too. Young fans everywhere now see a rookie sensation paired with a Hall of Famer, proving that women's sports can carry the same weight, reverence, and commercial clout as the men's game. Indiana is no longer just chasing playoff berths, it's becoming the face of a broader sports revolution. But, as with any bold move, there's skepticism. Larry Bird is known for being intense, direct, and demanding nothing short of excellence. So the big question is, can Caitlin Clark, still early in her pro journey, thrive under that kind of pressure? Or will the presence of a towering figure like Bird be too much, too soon? Some critics worry about a philosophical clash. Clark plays with freedom and instinct, while Bird comes from an era of discipline and structure. Will that combination spark greatness or tension? Still, even skeptics admit this move has already shaken the league. Other franchises are now watching closely. Could this experiment inspire a new wave of player empowerment, cross-league mentorship, and marketing strategy? Whether this becomes the WNBA's boldest success story or a headline-making misstep, it's clear. Women's basketball has entered a new phase, one where it no longer just asks for respect but commands it. So here we are, standing at a potential turning point in sports history. Caitlin Clark blazing trails for a new generation, Larry Bird bringing decades of championship DNA to a franchise on the rise. This is more than a coaching addition, it's a cultural statement. Will this partnership lead the Indiana Fever to dynasty status, or prove to be a gamble too risky to pay off? We want to hear from you. Can this historic duo truly change the WNBA forever? Or is this alliance a collision course waiting to happen? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
The story is just getting started.